Well, Steve, firstly, could you just give us an update of exactly what's going on behind the scenes at the club at the moment, given the circumstances we're all in?
Yeah, look, there's obviously been a sudden suspension of all activities. Everything has really stopped and ground to a halt. Even retail, we were carrying on running. Then when the suspension happened, we had to stop doing that because we couldn't get goods out whilst keeping staff safe. So unfortunately, we had to take the tough decision to furlough most staff, or a number of staff. We've kept a flexible skeleton staff on to allow us to continue to operate as best we can. But it's tough. Contrary to reports, we haven't furloughed the first team players. They're actually on their annual leave at the moment, and as they would normally do on annual leave, they're following training programs and keeping themselves fit. So so we're hopefully they're in a reasonable shape and ready to go when things start. But yeah, it's a tough period at the moment.
Well, obviously, there's been a lot of debate about football clubs up and down the country using the furlough scheme. Why did we choose to go down that route?
Look, we're in a different world to Premier League. Our revenues stopped overnight. Our revenues are coming predominantly from ticketing, hospitality, retail, all those areas, not from the TV monies. The worlds are too different. So we, like any other business in this country at the moment, has taken all the steps we can to protect the cash flows, protect the business, and to try and make sure that we protect staff and their jobs all the way through this, which is what our plan to do is. We're making sure, and we've promised, the important thing is that we've promised all staff at the moment they're all getting paid 100%, and we're sticking to that. And so we're taking all the measures we can. One of those is furlough, but we're looking at all other measures as other businesses are.
Steve, can you sort of summarise the extent of the financial impact that this is having on a club like us at the moment?
Well, as I said in the previous answer, our income stopped overnight. The only incomes that are carried on through are the season ticket holder incomes that's coming in online. And even on that, we appreciate that for season ticket holders, it's a really difficult time. For everyone, it's a difficult time financially. And those people that have been able to carry on supporting us, I think more than anything, has been fantastic, and we really do appreciate that and appreciate those people's efforts. For us at the moment, we're looking at new income streams and what we can do, but it's really difficult because there's so much uncertainty, and until we know and have a plan of how we come out of this and how we can start the games going, it's difficult for us to do what we can do.
Another key element to our operation is that of the Millwall Community Trust. How has this kind of crisis affected their day-to-day goings on?
Yeah, it's had a real impact on the trust. There's a number of staff which are furloughed because also programs are stopped, income stopped overnight for them in as much, if not more, than us, which is a real shame because of the work they carry out and what they do, and how they're going to be needed when we start coming out of this on an issue such as mental health. But even now, we're helping where we can. They've offered to look after and school vulnerable children for the council. We're speaking to the council all the time. As a club, we are assisting King's College in storing certain elements, and I had another hospital contact us yesterday. But the trust lost. They're about to have the Teddy Sheringham and Tony Cascarino evening. The Derby match was our community game, and that was about to raise substantial unrestricted funds for them. It's a real tough one on them because their financial year was end of March, and they're struggling. But we as a club stand behind them. We're there to help them because our community and everyone around us is vitally important to us, and they're part of that Millwall family, and we will help them through, and hopefully get as well that we see them as really, really important to what the world's going to look like when we start coming out of this.
Well, Steve, the latest information sort of suggests that football, the season, should it resume, will be behind closed doors. What are yours and the club's thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's important that we resume the season, we finish the season. I think that's vitally important for the integrity of sport, integrity of the league, and trying to make sure that we do the right thing. Players, management, supporters, their health and safety has to come first, and we have to follow the advice of the scientists and make sure that we are doing that when it's appropriate and when it's possible. We can't get ahead of that. And of course, we've got huge sympathy for the fans, because football is about fans. Our supporters, we know what they are. We know what they create in the Den, and to not have them there is going to be a huge miss. And we're devastated if that's the case. But of course, it's about health and safety and making sure people are well first and foremost.
What discussions have been had behind the scenes in the past few weeks in terms of and around compensating season ticket holders should the rest of the campaign be behind closed doors?
Look, from the word go, as soon as it became apparent that was a possibility, we've been exploring that, working on that. I've spoken to the EFL. We've worked with the management team. You've been part of those conversations, trying to understand and look at what we can do. Assuming, and it is an assumption, that the games are streamed on club channels such as I follow, then we're pushing hard that season ticket holders are able to access that. Of course, that there's a lot of hard work in us being able to work with the season ticket holders, but that's going to need all of us to get some understanding. But we're pushing hard to ensure that season ticket holders will get free access to those games in the event they're streamed in that way and behind closed doors.
Steve, do you know what sort of impact all of this going to have on next season?
No, I don't know where we're going to be next week. So no, look, it's obviously a huge worry. There are various comments made and rumours made, but the government have been quite clear that they're not talking about anything beyond lockdown, and as a result, to even start to think about what next season is going to look like is really difficult. I think let's focus on where we are today. Let's think about making sure people are safe and well. Then the priority can shift to getting this season completed as quickly as possible, and the logistic and the technical and the contractual issues that because it's not straightforward. But next season, let's not get there yet. Let's take little steps first and foremost.
How often are you speaking to the chairman about what's going on in the club and sort of everything surrounding this current crisis?
Yeah, I'm talking to John daily, if not sometimes twice a day. He's obviously in America, so he's frustrated he can't be here. But and they've got, he's getting the news reports in America, not so exposed to where we are. So I'm updating him on that. We're talking about all the various plans, different information that's coming out, and keeping each other informed. John's been a phenomenal chairman, and he's a phenomenal chairman, and he's exceptionally supportive, and no more so than at this time. And to have John Berylson behind Millwall Football Club now is really important to us. His message is, look, we'll get through this. The Millwall spirit will see us through, and let's keep positive, let's keep focused, and let's make sure that when we get going as a unit, and that's the whole Millwall family, we're ready to go, and we're ready to try and push for playoffs. That's where his focus is, and he's really strong about that. We have our days. It's tough like everyone else, so I don't want to underplay that side of it. But no, he's in a great place. He's fit and well, which is good. And yesterday he was talking about how he can get over here if we do get games going and where he stays. So looks like my spare room might be used, but he's joking aside, he's really engaged and ready to get going.
Obviously, all of our discussions are kind of with the caveat that this is all fairly trivial stuff, the football industry, compared to the wider context of the situation, with people losing loved ones, not just in London or the country, but kind of sort of all over the world. And in that, tragically and unfortunately, we've lost supporters along the way. Yeah,
look, everything we talk about and everything about looking forward comes with a position that it's irrelevant really to people that have lost people and to people's health at this moment in time. That I think that should go without saying, but you have to say it. It is important, and we've got every sympathy that people who have lost people, and indeed people who have got people that have been ill or seriously ill. We are aware we've lost certain fans. I've spoken to a few families. And as a club, if we can do anything for anyone, then please let us know, and we'll try and be there for you. we've spoken about what we can do in the future, and we will do something to recognise everyone that has been involved in this, be it key workers to people that have lost people, and recognising them. But that's for another day. At the moment, I want people to stay well, healthy, and keep safe.